Welcome to Refuel. Today's theme is, how do you live so that when you get to the end of your life, you look back and go, man, that was awesome. Glad I lived that way. And really, how do you live a life of deep joy and gratitude? Because the prescriptions aren't very helpful. For example, if you're a Christian, lots of you grew up with sort of in a religious system that communicated to you that God was not interested in you being happy. Matter of fact, he was a sort of a thundering God of no. And that warped your view of God. Others of us, you had no view of God. You grew up in the world where you're basically, Hollywood was cramming stuff down your throat saying, if you want to be happy, you got to make it all about you. And you kind of discover that didn't work very well either. Is there a third way? Yes. Jesus' words in the Sermon on the Mount introduce basically A to Z, and it's all things when we read them, we go, whoa, that sounds hard. Is that really true? All this kind of stuff. And you discover if you'll live these things, then it'll lead you to a life you'll be glad to. And if you don't live these things, it could possibly lead you to some major regret. And we talked about that this weekend. Check this out. And the problem is this. There are a lot of people, and I'm going to read you a letter written by a Christian woman who ignored everything in the Sermon on the Mount about forgiveness and reconciliation. She said this. She wrote this letter. I caught my husband having an affair with another woman. He swore it would never happen again. He begged me to forgive him, but I could not and I would not. I was so bitter and so incapable of swallowing my pride, humble, that I could think of nothing but revenge. I was going to make him pay and make him pay dearly. I'd have my pound of flesh. I filed for divorce even though my children begged me not to. Even after the divorce, get this, my husband tried for 2 solid years to win me back. He finally had to give up. I refused to have anything to do with him. He had struck first. Now I was striking back. All I wanted was to make him pay. Finally, he gave up and then married a lovely young widow with a couple of small children. He began rebuilding his life without me. I see them occasionally, and to be honest, he looks so happy. They all do. And here I am, a lonely, old, miserable woman who allowed her selfish pride and foolish stubbornness to ruin her life. Unfaithfulness is wrong. Agree? Yes. Unfaithfulness is wrong. Revenge is worse. And the worst part of all of that is this. Without forgiveness, bitterness is now all I have left. God wants better for you.